Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN Podcast. We got another special one for you today. Let me start with the panel before getting to our special guest. A warm welcome back to our man, Steph. Steph, how you been, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be back. It's been a minute, and I miss doing podcasts. So here I am, and I'm so excited because Dave is with us. He's one of our greatest fans. And I'm very happy to be with Chris and, of course, with you, Danny.
Facts. Also joined by Chris. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good, man. Obviously, the game that Dave's here to discuss with us was a really tough blow for us. You know, we're coming off a pretty bad blow recently. We're not completely down because we got a couple results. We got up a little bit and then just hit right back down again, 96th minute. But we're in the Taça da Liga final. Let's see if we can at least, dance on the Benfica grave a little bit on Saturday. But, tough one to take in the 96th.
And it's going to be even tougher because we're joined by, personally, my favorite Bracarense of all time. Don't tell my barber that, who's also a Bracarense. Our boy, Dave Pereira. Dave, how you been, bro? How are you?
Hey, fellas, thanks for having me. Doing very well, and thank you for the invite. I'm a big fan. The tone of the show was better for me when you guys were depressed and my personal favorites were those episodes, but let's see if we can top it. I'll try to bring back that flair.
I was going to say, right now is the best time to bring back that depression, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right, let's start off with some Twitter questions. Oh, sorry. I was lagging there a bit. So let's start off with some Twitter questions. We'll start off with our boy Kevin, and the first one goes to so it starts off by saying, thoughts on the Slimani saga, get him back for how long, and if not, who? I'll ask all three of you guys, but I'll start with you, Dave. What are your thoughts on the potential return of Slimani to Sporting? You think it's good for us? What do you think?
I think it's, from a fan standpoint, I'm sure it's fun to see somebody who meant a lot to your club. I thought his antics were great. I think I seen him score a goal against Porto one time. He kicked a flag and he pretended to lift his leg like a dog and pee on it. I think that was in the Dragão, I believe. But he did some shit, made me laugh. So I'm sure for your fan base, it's good. He's been bouncing around, I think, for the last couple of seasons, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. He was linked, I know, to I think Vitória wanted him, I think 2 years ago. Was it last year where they had Thiago coach them for 3 weeks? I think that's one of the reasons he left. I think before the window closed, he tried to get him to come back to Portugal. But if the question is, where's the power struggle with that guy? Is he gonna want to start? Is he gonna want to be a backup? See what happens. I think the fans are going to be split 50-50 on who to play. But I'll let you guys decide that.
Facts. How about you, Steph?
No, I'm super excited. I hope he comes back as Slimani. As I remember, he scored some amazing goals in the Taça de Portugal against Braga. Yeah, against Braga, yes. And I know he'll do some good to Sporting. Paulinho by himself, he has no competition. I think he's too relaxed. He needs somebody to compete with him and to possibly steal his spot. I think that's what he needs, and we need a striker. Thiago Tomás, looks like he's going to Stuttgart of Germany for 18 months loan and a possible buyout clause. And Slimani would be perfect. I think he's 33 years old, full of experience. He comes from a very competitive league, Lyon, France. It's not an easy league. So he knows the Portuguese league. He knows how to play in our league. He's very familiar. He speaks Portuguese. He knows our culture. He wouldn't be too far from home from Algeria, just a flight away. So to him, it would be perfect, and to us as well, because the fans overall, I would say 98% love him. I won't say 100 because you know how it is with Portuguese. We always find someone they hate somebody. So I'm completely excited, and I hope it's not a baller just giving us hope for nothing, and I hope it's the real deal.
How about you, Chris? Same with you?
That's the thing that sussed me out from the beginning. Is it seemed like Abala was the one that
I know.
was leading the charge, and I was like, Abala is breaking a story about Sporting. I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, look, listen, I think I've seen some of the chatter today. I mean, I don't think it'd be the start. He hasn't really been in good form this season. Thiago Tomas is leaving. I think it's just to be an alternative for these desperate situations, and we're just picking balls into the box. We have Coates and we'll have Slimani up there too. So I think, and from that sense, it's a good signing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be a loan? Is he going to rescind? I think our best bet is a rescind, and then we sign him to a 1.5-year deal for a much lower salary, because obviously Lyon just wants to probably get rid of him. They don't want the salary. We don't want to pay $3 million salary. He can't come here. We can't be the highest paid player, or the second highest paid. Sorry, Sarabia is obviously the highest paid. And be the 16th man. So they're gonna have to work through that. But yeah, for the right price, 1.5-year deal, I'll take some money back.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely offers us something different than Paulinho, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
On Thiago Tomas is going, then that's the only way that makes sense. Anything more than the rest of the season alone, pretty much, in my opinion, says that you'll never see that guy again in a Sporting kit.
And it's being rumored it's 18 months.
Yeah, see that.
Hey, especially if they get relegated, imagine he'll play well in the Bundesliga too. You would have to think,
Listen, Carlos Mané went there and he did well there, right? I can only imagine Thiago Tomas would do the same.
Well, Thiago Tomas could never complain. Ruben Amorim gave him a lot of chances. So that's on him. That's on him. I mean, he's been with us, for a couple of years now, and he never showed anything decent. So
yeah, but are you asking him to do something different? Like, he is what type of striker is he? For all Paulinho's faults, that guy comes back to the midfield and will hold the ball for wingers, grab a ball, can pass out. Is that what Thiago Tomas can do? You're asking him to do something he can't.
No, it's not. It's not only that, but he missed some goals in he should have scored. With that said, Paulinho as well, and we saw that a couple of days ago. But I was expecting more from Thiago Tomas. I'm expecting a striker to score goals, and Thiago Tomas, all the time, all the chances he was given, all the games he played for, he hasn't shown that. And Paulinho,
he scored. I think he scored a brace against Bolness in the Dasa.
And Paulinho is in danger too. See, if he doesn't start scoring goals, Ruben Amorim is going to have to cut him loose too.
Who's he going to put up top? If he doesn't bring anyone in and he loans out Tomas, I don't know what.
I'm not saying immediately, but let's say by next year, 2022, 2023, if Paulinho doesn't deliver, I bet you Ruben Amorim will cut him loose. We'll sell him or on a loan, and we'll get somebody else.
Could be, but that's also him too. Like he'll miss a sitter, and then he'll put one over the goalie from outside the box somehow.
Yeah, he does score more bangers.
And you're going to sit here and say, "Well, he has that in him. How is he missing these?" But that's that's the frustration with him.
And Dave, Putek he missed it from 3 yards line.
I have no idea.
Holy shit!
No clue.
I mean,
and then he started looking at the grass like it fucking didn't.
I know the grass was perfect. The grass was perfect. You thought he was in Avalado. You said, hey, "Get the fuck out of here!"
How he missed that. But that player specifically is like the ideal player for your coach.
Yeah, I agreed.
For everything he did to try to get this guy. The media battles, the fighting with the fucking the president of Braga. You're talking. You can't cut him loose after a season and a half.
That's true too.
You can't cut him loose because of the price tag too.
Yeah,
60 million. You can't. That's.
I mean, but
it was.
We lost. We're gonna talk about Braga in a little while. I know, but he had a header against Braga and he couldn't score that. I mean.
That's the one he needs to bet.
But exactly. I mean, that's why you're a striker to score.
Right.
And then we lost against Braga. That goal that Braga scored, it reminded me the goal that Eder scored against France in the Europa.
We got Edward.
Yeah. And I was like, que filho da puta de paio, meu. I mean, that player, that player will never score a goal like that in his entire life. Mas tinha que ser contra o Sporting.
Bro, you don't know that. He could develop.
Não. Que foi um chouriço do caralho, meu. Não tem na vida, meu.
It was a good shot.
It was a good shot. And then everybody was like, oh, because it was a 96 minute. And then,
bananas.
Yeah, we felt like we were right in the ass. Yeah, basically.
Next question goes straight to you, Dave. As over here at Sporting, we're used to stealing your players. So in this case, you have to choose a Sporting player to go to Braga. Who would it be? And just to make it more fun, don't make it any of the former. So no Paulinho, no Iscaio.
Right.
None of them.
I'll tell you one who a few years back, who for some reason I thought Braga would have got him. I have no idea how, but I went to a little background story. Braga beat Setúbal in the Taça de Liga semifinals, and I fucking bought tickets and I flew over to go pick up my father and drive to Algarve to see them in the finals against Moreirense.
What year was this?
16,
maybe.
They lost.
Is that when you won the league?
No. So I go there. I said, "There's no way." First off, I'm driving from fucking.
Wait, did they play Moreirense?
Yeah, Moreirense beat Benfica in the semis.
Okay, yeah, I remember this season.
I drove to the southern part of the country from fucking north of Port to go see them play Moreirense, who I could have drove 30 minutes from my house from. Right, I get down there and we had probably one of the worst teams I seen Braga have. Jorge Simão was the coach. That's when we had Bataglia was still on our team.
Wow.
And I watched this fucking guy no taller than me run havoc on the field, and I said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" That January, after that game, your president pulled Pudens and two other players back from loan on Moreirense after winning the tournament.
Paulinho was on Moreirense for that as well.
And
I think, I want to say, fuck, who else was on that team?
Was it Geralds?
Geralds was on that team too.
Yeah.
And I said, this guy, they're going to end up getting that Pudens guy. What I saw him do on that field is fucking bananas. I always thought we were going to end up somehow getting Pudens, but then that whole bullshit happened. But if I had to say right now, who would I take? For all his inconsistencies, I'd take Jovan. I would take him. I like him on the wing. I think he's inconsistent, so he fits my
10 mil. I mean, you can have him. He's for sale.
When I thought we were going to get him was when Paulinho went. I said, this is the perfect time to get a kid who, or Bragança. I take one of those two, as I think they're right up what I like watching in Portuguese football. They're good, inconsistent, the winger, but I would take one of those two.
Hey,
Danny, a good shout.
Flip the question now.
What do you mean? So what player would we steal from Braga?
Yeah.
Let me start. Talking about inconsistent, perfect. I'll take Galeno. How about you, Steph?
I would take Galeno as well. He's not inconsistent. He's very good. I think at this time, at the point of his life, he realizes that he stayed at Braga for way too long. He should have made the jump a couple years ago. Galeno is the best player they have. He's by far. He's awesome.
It's amazing because I disagree with you. I think he.
Huh?
I disagree full-heartedly. I don't think Galeno's the best player. I think he has the most impact when he's good, but he has no technical. He tried to keep that ball on his. I tried to push that ball to his right foot in the box in the first half of that game. You were wondering, why didn't you just kick it with your left? Like in close quarters, for some reason he has no technique to hold on to the ball. And I understand when you watch him, he's fun to watch, but you understand why Port cut him. Port cut ties with him.
I see what you mean, but I think it's a lack of ability from the coaching staff to develop him. That's what I think it is.
Right.
I mean, Braga has been your coach now is Carvalhal. Before that, who was it?
Amorim. Or no, before that there was Custódio.
If you go down the whole list,
there was like 4 last season, bro.
Okay, so thank you. You'll agree with me. There's no consistency. Finally,
Sapinto was the one who played him the most.
Yeah. Finally, you see Sporting with some consistency with Ruben Amorim, and we won Taça da Liga, Campeonato Nacional, Supertaça, win the final of the Taça da Liga. And if Braga kept the same players If Salvador wasn't, since we have a Bracarense who does, might as well talk about Braga as well. Since Braga, if they kept the composure of keeping the same team and the same coaching staff, and your president wasn't so eager to sell so many key players, you guys would be in the title race now. But you're selling way too much. I mean, a quarter of your team is in my team now.
They're doing good business, man.
Yeah, it's good business, but you're not winning what fans want, which is titles.
Right. So
you want titles.
You look at what they just got rid of this past year. Not to make this a whole Braga podcast here, but
that's fine.
No, let's do it.
Franceschi was a very impactful player. Limited in some capacities. Wasn't great at any one thing, but he could go box to box. If you needed a secondary striker, he was it. He could come back and defend on aerial duels into the box when people just crossing in there. He was a very impactful player for us, but he was 30. He's been there for 4 years. Also tore a leg, I think a knee one. He was out for a season. You lost that guy. Now you've got a 29-year-old who you can get $4 million for. The player wants to go too. I mean, how much are we paying? Esgaio went to Sporting. I think he doubled his salary. How much you paying him? 480, 500,000 a year. He ain't making $1 million. Yeah. So he doubled his salary to go back to where he came from. So
yeah, of course, I don't blame him.
There are certain circumstances which I understand, but you're right. He sells some players. To me, it's like not that impactful play. It's like so they sold. You remember Xhaka? He played in Lille for the last few years. He played 6 months for us, and he sold them.
So let's talk about our club. We have from Braga. We have Esgaio, Palhinha.
The coach, I guess.
Okay, the coach, Paulinho. If we're going to count Battaglia, which is still a Sporting player loaned.
I mean, the last Andre Pinto, remember the defender you got? I think it was at one point.
We got him for free though.
So let's say your team kept all those players. You guys would be in good shape now. But I get it. Sometimes you have to sell it. Like we might have to sell Palhinha, and now we know why we have to pay os calotes da UEFA, or we're not going to be in the competitions for the next 3 years. So I get it.
There's again, like we can talk later about the issues with that president too and what his mindset is with things, but the money's just not there in the club. Now I think their books are good because he's going to finance this stadium build.
Yeah. It better
I
be.
don't care what anybody says. He's going to finance this fucking stadium himself if he has to, because there's something he won't let it go. Fans do want it. If you've ever been to that stadium, so many stairs. It's not friendly to get to.
It's just kind of it's like
it's not.
It's cool for a viral tweet. It's cool for a viral tweet. It's not good if you want your club
to me, it's still one of the nicest stadiums in Portugal.
I think so too. The way it was built,
beautiful.
It's cool. It's cool.
Right.
But yeah,
I've been there. Actually,
it's not located. It's not centrally located in the town, which everybody wants walking distance.
I know, but you know what? The stadium
actually
is
like way
already
up at the top of that hill.
Right, and he didn't build it. It's not his. So I think a big issue too is leases ending. His lease is coming up on it.
What are they going to do with it though?
They want to sell it.
The lease? What do you mean? The stadium belongs to whom?
The city.
The friggin' the town. You know what I mean? It's Braga owns it. Salvador has no say in it. He just pays rent, but he has a very friendly lease right now. But it's coming up, and they want to sell it because they can't afford to maintain it if he's keeping on that whatever contract it is. He's saying he already pays $1 million for grass and all that bullshit. But again, this is just probably. But they built all the fields around it and the academy around.
What's the state? Because it wouldn't be
I can't see him leaving, but he's gonna.
It wouldn't be a complete new build. It would be a revamp, right?
That's how he's gonna sell it, but because the field's there, but you tearing everything down with the grass.
Stadium? What's the state of Estadio?
The female team uses it.
Oh, okay, so it's
there,
usable.
But it's
not like
use.
in shambles. Yeah.
You know, so.
What are you talking about? 1 de Mayo.
Right.
Yeah.
1 de Mayo still belongs to Câmara Municipal.
But he has a better stake in that. He says the club has more of a stake in that than they do the.
So I get it.
If they sell this stadium, he said he's out.
They're going to sell it to whom?
I don't know who the fuck's gonna buy it, Steph.
Who the fuck's got
That's what I'm
A
saying,
Chinese
yeah.
investor. A Chinese
who the fuck?
investor.
I mean,
who wants
and,
the stadium?
For what? For a concert?
I don't know. I mean, what's who plays in the one they
They'll
built in
destroy it
Algarve?
and they'll build a fucking luxury hotel at the top of the hill. I don't fucking know.
É o Farense? Não, Farense.
I don't think so. They got their own stadium. The
No,
Algarve
they
don't
don't
stays
play
there
there.
doing
No
nothing.
one
I think
plays
it might
there.
be nobody, eh? I was
Nobody,
even gonna say
yeah.
maybe Orleanense.
This is
Maybe.
what happens with they build a Euro. They have a Euro and they do this shit.
It's
The
like
country
an
don't-
emergency stadium.
This country,
Yeah.
Portugal needs less stadiums. Let alone they need less teams. There's too many fucking teams. Every goddamn town has a team. You know,
It's like Richard Neff says, like Aveiro. We have an LED. They have beautiful stadiums that
Right.
were built for the Euro, and now it's good for the Taça da Liga, like
That's
Sporting
it.
and Benfica on Saturday, and that's it.
Mm.
But
Um,
that's a big expense that the
It is.
Câmara Municipal tem que pagar.
right, so
Aliás,
that's
a Beira Mar
just-
from Aveiro went down because they couldn't afford the rent or the electricity bill or some shit like that.
What do you mean it
So
went
they started-
down?
They went down to because they were in the first, then they went down to the second division, and then
Mhm.
from the second they went straight down to the third. Like
I
they
thought-
didn't compete.
Oh, I thought
But it was because of finances.
I thought you meant they were knocking down the stadium.
No. The stadium's still there. They knocked down the old one, if anything, Beira Mar.
Oh yeah.
Um,
O estádio Mário Duarte. I went there so
Why-
many times. Yeah.
me
I
too.
remember you talking about it. You said the atmosphere even changed when you got
Oh,
they
yeah.
got a new stadium,
Of course,
right?
because it's bit like the other one was smaller, right? So it's a bit more intimate.
Yeah, o Mário
And
Right,
it's
Duarte.
more historical and all of that.
Yeah.
So
O
now they
Mário
built
Duarte
the Euro
era
one.
mais pequenino, só tinha a capacidade de 5,000 pessoas. The other one is bigger, more comfortable,
Mhm.
but then you wouldn't have even more than 3,000 people, so it looked like it was empty all the time.
This
Yeah.
comment here, right? He is 100% right. He legally sold his shares in that construction company like 3 years ago. There is not a doubt in my mind what company is probably going to get the contract to build a stadium. If my own personal opinion, I think there's a conflict of interest. They shouldn't even be allowed to put in a bid. But
Yeah.
again,
Classic.
I'm a pessimist. So that's just
Fair.
I got off subject there. Sorry, fellas.
No.
No, you're
The
fine.
comment on what was the last comment there? Or last question? What player? I don't even remember.
Whatever. Yeah, what player we would take from Braga, basically. Chris, what player would you take from Braga if you had one?
Oh, I would take the 16-year-old prodigy, Roger.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
Don't you guys
Before
have
he
his cousin?
becomes like 25
Joelson,
million.
right?
I think Joel. Yeah,
Joelson
Joelson.
is his cousin. Yeah.
He might be.
And we
sold,
loaned him
but
the
yeah.
fuck out of there, bro.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question: is this Sporting youth movement? That's just at this point? I'm not saying it's bullshit, but like everything else, fuck, it's win now. We need to win now, or we're fucked.
The generation has cycled through. The ones that have made it. The ones that are still out there, like Eduardo Quaresma, I guess technically Thiago Tomas, where the future is still undetermined, and then they're the ones
Right.
that have already been cycled through. And now it's like the next gen needs to regenerate a little bit, I think.
So who's left? Who made it through besides Bragança? I guess.
Mateus
Inacio.
Nunes, technically.
Yeah,
I'd consider
Mateus
him.
Nunes.
Inacio
He's
as well.
Estoril,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
it's
Inacio.
still Sporting. Yeah, Inacio, like Chris said, and
I guess Nuno Mendes.
Nuno
I mean,
Mendes.
we sold him, right?
Yeah,
But
we
Nuno
just
Mendes-
sold him.
He did the full cycle through already. Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
already
He paid.
full.
He paid in full for everybody. Then that generation's
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
So if you had to keep one midfielder, right? Speaking of Pailinha and the other midfielder, damn drawing a blank
Ugarte?
here.
Ugarte,
No, the other one.
Bragança,
Bra-
Mateus
Bragança.
Nunes.
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 You had to get rid of one. Who would it be?
I'm
It
guessing- me, it's Nunes.
Me, it's
You keep.
I keep no. I keep Padinha.
Okay.
I
I
keep
get rid of Nunes.
I keep Nunes.
I'm with. I think I'd
The
have to
smart
say
I
that.
don't mind
answer is
either or, though.
saying- Yeah, it's
That's
tough because I
fine.
love them both. We have more depth.
Stuff. No, I hear
obviously,
you.
with-
My
with,
team
you-
changed completely once.
Yeah.
Once
Once
Pailinha
Pailinha
left, it was
left.
like a noticeable difference when that.
Ugarte
that kid
offers
was-
more depth, but it's like Ugarte kind of had a stinker against Santa Clara. It's like that's gonna happen if he's playing every game. Like he's good, but he's not Palhinha level yet, an international starter.
Well,
So.
Palhinha came back from an injury, and to tell the truth, he's not been at 100%.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Ugarte starts against Benfica this weekend.
I like the duel on that, and I think it was Danny that put the comment on Twitter saying Palhinha and Ugarte playing the same time for the first time. I don't know. Put that on Sporting160EN.
Might have been Chris or
It might have been Chris then. So yeah, that was the first time, and I liked it. I mean, but both of them they performing a little bit below what they're capable of.
The two tanks.
Yeah, I love that though. It gave us security in the midfield.
Yeah.
Olha, o Braga foi pro.
I know. I was just about to say we got to get into the Braga game.
Yeah, let's do this now. Let's do this. Yeah. So, starting off, Dave, just take it a bit easy on us, though. We're still a little wounded here. Let me pull it up. It's this one here.
I feel better.
So, lineup was as followed. So, Sporting had Adana Net, Fadal, Coates, Inácio, Mateus Reis, Isgaio, Mateus Nunes and Palhinha in the midfield, Sarabia, Paulinho, Pot up top. Braga had Mateus Jeanette, Tormena, Bruno, what's the R? Bruno Rodrigues, Diogo Leite, and then Moura, Fabinho on the wing backs, Al-Musrati, Castro in the midfield, Ricardo Horta, Vitinha, and Galeno up top. Substitutions for Sporting was Tabata, Giovanni, and Ugarte. For Braga, it was Abel Ruiz, Roger, Andre Horta, and Gorbi, the French assassin. I'll start with you, though, Dave. Your thoughts on this game?
All right, so let me do the first half here. I thought they came out with a distinct game plan, and for all the criticism I tend to feel for Carlos Carvalhal, he is a very good prep for the game guy. I think he has a good way to put a game plan together, and he's going to live or die by that game plan. I don't think he adjusts too well. There are times where I think he's late on subs, but I mean, it's different. It's your team, right? So you have that sense of like, I see this. Why doesn't this guy see it? But so he came out here, and I thought he did something I don't really see people do when they're playing Sporting from a smaller club standpoint. Is he pressed really hard. They forwards came on and pressed hard, pushed for errors, but in that first half, they didn't look like they could control the ball really. There wasn't many strung passes together from an offensive standpoint. I thought it was obvious that you guys came out very strong, very forceful, and calm. I thought you guys looked calm in the pressure. I think it's noticeable that your right wing back is out from an offensive standpoint. So I don't think there's a guy who has that in him anymore to be able to run up and down and be an offensive playmaker from that side. So that didn't really worry me too much. The one thing that I noticed going into this from a Braga standpoint is this is the first time, I think, since Ruben Amorim took over the club that Galeno did not play left wing back. This is the first time. And if there was an interview he did when he was still a coach that said, if you leave Galeno a wing back, you will lose him. He's not meant to play a wing back position. You will lose him. And it doesn't shock me because I've been wondering, well, how come he doesn't even sub in every once in a while or push up the field and stay there and throw in a legitimate wing back. But this game he did. It took a while to get him going. He had a chance in the first half. But Sporting, you guys are a strong team. You say whatever you want. You guys have a strong team. You looked calm. You put shots on net in that first half. You probably could have scored more, to say the least. You probably could have left at halftime with a bigger deficit. I'm sorry, with us with a bigger deficit.
Yeah, but the second half was just completely different. Go ahead, Steph. Take it from there. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, they pretty much summed it up. But in the first half, Sporting dominated. We were the better team. We pushed back Braga. We put them against the ropes, and we deserved to be winning at that point in time. We didn't give them a lot of chances for anything. We controlled the game, and And I think that's why Portuguese just felt like, okay, we got this game in the bag. It was a no-brainer. It's like, no way, no way we can lose this game. And I felt so confident in halftime. I had a whole bottle of wine, and I was like, damn, it's not a problema. We're good to go. Here comes the second half, and I'm not gonna waste too much time in the first half because it sums it up. What Dave said, he's done a better job than I did talking about it. But the second half, since Dave didn't touch too much on it, I'm going to touch on it. Coates makes a big mistake, which no one expects him to make. And the Braga player doing his job, he passed to Galeno, which is a player, I think he's a phenomenal player from Braga. And he did what he was supposed to do. Do I think it's a penalty? In the Portuguese league, it is. In the Premier League, it never will be. But that's the reality we live in Portugal. Bullshit penalties like that will be called. But Sporting also benefited from penalties like that in other games as well. So I'm not really complaining about the PK. When I saw the PK, I was like, it's not a PK. But in the Premier League, it's not. In the Portuguese league, most likely it will be, and it was. But I still think it was a bullshit PK. But who made the mistake? Coates. He passed the ball to the Braga player, and he created that advantage to the Braga player. When Matheus Reis got to Galeno, he got there late, and he slightly touched the Galeno's I think it was left foot, and it was called a PK. And it got me upset because I'm sick and tired of this silly soft PKs in Portugal. But again, we also benefit from them. So it's not Braga's fault. They scored the goal on a PK. They tied the game, and then Sporting became very nervoso. They couldn't put it together. They after that PK, they would never themselves again. And Carvalhal did a great job, and the assistant coach in pressuring Sporting on top. And they got the sense of, okay, let's get them on the back heel because they can pass two, three passes together. They're struggling, and then we couldn't create a lot of opportunities, and the ones we did, Paulinho wouldn't score. I remember a clear header. He didn't put it away when he shouldn't have. Pedro Gonçalves the same way.
Yeah,
he had a great chance of goal
right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end, and he couldn't do it. And if he would have scored at that time, I think we would have been fine. And then I don't agree with Ruben Amorim's substitutions. When we had Bragança on the bench, he didn't use him. I don't know why. I mean, we had Tiago Tomás. That's the only forward we have in our bench. And he didn't put him on the pitch. He preferred to put Coates, which we became weaker in the defense. And then Inácio, again, another center back made a huge mistake. Instead of putting the ball out of play, he tried to play the ball, and he passed it to the Braga player. And then the Braga player, he gave it a shot, grande chouriço, but he scored. He scored. It reminded me of Eder when he scored against France in the Europa 2020, I believe. Yeah,
16.
Thank you. And everybody was in disbelief. Like, I can't believe he just scored. I'm like, they're all professional players. If there's no one challenging them and they take the shot, they might score, believe it or not. And I was highly disappointed with in this game with Coates and Inácio, two of our top players. Of course, you could have bad games, but both of them at the same time in the same game, making those mistakes against a very good team, you can't. And we lost because of Coates and Inácio. Nobody's blaming them. They're focusing the blame on Paulinho, and they're focusing the blame on Pot because they missed the goals. But if Coates didn't make the mistake that created the PK, and Inácio didn't make the mistake that gave the ball to Braga and he scored, we wouldn't have lost the game. It's really that simple. We lost the game because of our defense, and shame on them. I hope they learned the lesson, because I love both of them. Don't get me wrong, and we need them for the rest of the season. But that's why we lost the game, because of our defense.
Agreed. Take it away, Chris.
Yeah, I'll just continue the trend of just piggybacking. I agree with most of what you said, Steph. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was just like a game of, especially in the first. So obviously, first half, we dominated. Pot's goal kind of didn't come from nothing, but it just kind of fell out of the air. Sporting had been on top and continued to be on top the rest of that half, but the goal was a little bit random. But I think it was, you could argue it was deserved enough. But yeah, the PK is the PK. And then after that, it's just like a game of moments. Paulinho moment, Pot moment. Braga had a couple chances. Ended up taking a chance in the 96th minute.
They missed one too, but I'll talk about the second half in a second. Sorry to cut you off, Chris. Yeah,
no, it's all good. Yeah, I mean it's tough. It feels like a bad Ruben Amorim game as well. Steph, you kind of touched on it. Tabata and Jovan didn't really come in well into the game.
No.
It became Cruza ball that just didn't really result in anything. Yeah, like you said, it was like nervous and it was really shitty. A lot of questions to be asked. I feel like for the first time of like Inacio and Coates. Inacio had another. Not even this back pass that ended up ruining the game, but he had such a sus back pass that Adan actually handled it in the box.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about that one. I was thinking about other one where he sauced the I think it was Galeno. I forgot about that one. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, great pressure from Braga. Braga pressured in the second half.
So turn your hips and kick it out of bounds.
They pressed from the beginning, which is what. Even when they gave up the goal, I said, these guys are still going. That was their game plan. They were going to have to catch the mistakes that they did.
I think in the second half, you made a substitution, which was key, was o vosso avançado, qual é o nome dele?
Abel Ruiz.
Yes, he completely changed the game.
Yeah. Vitinha's not it.
That's that. At halftime, I think, is where it changed a lot. So I like Vitinha. I like it. He has that forceful bull striker in him. Like he tries to push, and we don't have that. We haven't had that in a while. It's always been finesse guys. Even when we had Diego Souza, he was big, but he wasn't. He just wanted headers. This kid, he has technique. He has quality. He's just still young. And what's funny is, like, I call him young, right? He's the same age as Abel Ruiz. They're both 21 years old. So you sit there and you're like, it's funny how I think we expect more out of Abel because he came from Barcelona, right? Came with a higher price tag, came with however you want to look at his price tag. It's still all inflated.
You're about to sell him.
I don't think they will. Yeah, I think they're going to try to hold on. Did they sell him if a real offer comes in? Right.
20 million, I would sell him too. Yeah.
We'll talk about, like, when you talk into transfers, what I think on that. But so that second half, when he subbed him in, he now had Abel Ruiz for all, like, his mental case issues. I think he's dealing with a lot. I mean, you talk about a guy who came from Barcelona, now is playing in Portugal, and then at the beginning of the year got benched. Like that, after Paulinho, he was supposed to be the guy. And it took him a while. In this game, he started coming back to the midfield, collecting balls and running them through himself, connecting with the wingers. And I think that changed the game 100 right when he came in there, the error caused his pressure also, I think, caused the error that Coates. It's over time, And I sit here and I said, did you guys just make an error, or was it also provoked? It's one thing to just sit back and wait to capitalize on errors, but I also believe, like, they provoked the error in some cases. Maybe the Inacio one at the end, you could say this kid it was a dumb move. He cleared it weak. Should have did it differently, or kicked it out of bounds. But I think Braga.
If he didn't already have COVID like a month ago, I would have said, "Yo, does he have COVID?" Because he just seemed wrong, man. He just seemed off the whole freaking game. I don't know what was up.
Yeah, after that PK, I don't think I've seen like a rattled Sporting in a while. I have not. I thought Al Musrati on Mateus Nunes was big. Like, this is probably the first game we played you guys with Mateus Nunes. Besides that pass he threw into to Pot, I can't recall many things he did.
I don't know what's going
Right?
on with Mateus Nunes because, and we'll jump on that with Santa Clara. Something is up.
Right. So
then he's been underperforming big time. And against Santa Clara, I saw a couple things. I watched the whole game, and he couldn't control a ball, foot by Dupé. I'm like,
that was not like him.
Something is up. Like, maybe he wants to be sold, and Sporting is holding on to him. I don't know.
I mean, what was the rumors in the summer? Was it Everton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
he didn't seem like he wanted to leave though. At the time.
Yeah, I agree there. Yeah.
But Chris, it's like
it might affect him still mentally.
Yeah, your boss tells you, "Hey, I'm going to give you a raise. You're going to make 150," and then somebody else tells you, "Hey, I'm going to pay you $1 million." It's going to play with your head. Yeah.
So to if I can finish up real quick, towards the one thing I want to say about, I got a couple questions for you guys. Do you notice a difference when Mateus Reis is on the wing as opposed to being like that left central defender?
Big difference.
Position.
Yeah,
big difference.
Sure. Do you guys struggle saying what do you think is best for the team, or
So I know.
No. So I'm different, Steph. I said last podcast, Mateus Reis can't be center back. To me, Mateus Reis is the left wing back. Nuno Santos left wing back is good, but he's not the right solution because, like I said, what was the game before Braga? The game before Braga was, Nuno Santos, beautiful assist. I love Nuno Santos. As a left wing back, he was in the right side of the box. Perfect. He got the goal. Attacking wise, amazing. When it comes to defending, or the overall of it, to me, Mateus Reis has to be the left wing back. He caused the penalty. Aside from that, he was flawless this game.
Okay. I think what Dave was asking on a 3-4-3.
Yeah.
3-4-3. So it means that your center back would be Coates, Mateus Reis, and Inácio. Right. Inácio on the right, Coates no meio, e na esquerda o Mateus Reis.
Yeah.
And then o Nuno Santos faz o corredor todo, né?
Right, because that's the wing back position where he's playing that whole thing.
It does the whole corridor, and that's why I prefer Nuno Santos. Mateus Reis is perfect as one of the three center backs, but when he's on the 4, not on the 3, on the 4, and he's not that good because he doesn't have the velocity and the expertise, the finta, to the skill set to go on one-on-one to the deep line and cross the ball as Nuno Santos does. He sucks at that. Não tem profundidade. He sucks at that. So as a center back, yes, I would keep him as a center back. But as a left full back, let's call it that way, I would prefer Nuno Santos. I was expecting more from Vinagre, but he's choking.
Yeah, he's choking.
What happened to this guy?
Done.
He's choking. Ruben Amorim doesn't trust him. And apparently,
worst football of the last 4 years of his career.
When's the last time he's played? I haven't seen him since
yesterday.
Since fucking Ajax.
Yeah, he played yesterday for 10 minutes.
Yeah. But apparently,
he's played literally 3 times since then.
If he plays X amount of games, we have to buy him. He's on a loan. Yeah, he está.
He was. I don't know if you remember, before he went to Famalicão, he was slotted. It was done deal to come to Braga.
Oh, wow.
And there was this issue with, I want to say, they didn't want a purchase clause, and Salvador wouldn't take him without a clause.
Who, Wolves wouldn't want a purchase clause?
Right, I think that was. I remember.
Oh, right, because he came from Sporting's academy, and then he went to Valencia or something, right? And then
I know he was in Wolves.
Yeah.
And then he ended up going to Famalicão because they didn't care. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a purchase, I don't believe.
Yeah.
So that was an issue there. But yeah, he's mental. But I think you guys have a similar issue with him with us when we had Nuno Cerqueira, who I know Steph hates his guts, so I thought he sucked. But we are a completely different team when he is that left central defender. And I was critical because our defense was lousy. And you're sitting there like, you actually need a real central defender. We can't stop crosses into the box or anything. But there is a noticeable difference with link-up play because you can push your wing back up. And I think he's similar. I'm a fan of that guy. You guys built a good team from the Portuguese league, specifically Rio Ave. So that was good to see. My only other thing was Vinag, who you touched on, and he's just have no idea what's going on with him.
I mean, we have an alternative, Unazinho. I mean, he is.
I don't know if he's there yet, man. For like a title run type big games, I don't know if he's there.
No, I agree with you.
I was literally watching him play in the B team just the other day, and I was like, he's playing all right. I was like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying he's not the next thing, but like for right now, I don't know. I'd still rather prefer Nunes and hope he doesn't be a liability defensively, and hope Mateus Reis can hold it down behind him. I
think Nunes, even defensively, he's done an amazing job as well. He's done better than before. He has improved.
Yeah, he used to not really be playable there.
Yeah,
but now he is. So
yeah.
Besides Pot's goal, right? When's the last time he scored?
Okay, Pot?
Yeah. I mean, he nutmegged the goal.
He was in a drought. I don't remember if this.
He scored the last game, though. I think.
He
had one to break. He broke his drought recently. Yeah.
Pot scored against Dortmund, didn't he?
No, he scored before that. He scored against Vizela.
I think, maybe that's what the team. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had before that he hadn't scored in 9 games though.
In 9 games.
That's a tough stretch for him.
Well, but I reminded someone recently that Pot is not a striker by definition, and Paulinho is. So we're expecting Paulinho to score goals, and Pot to be more of a his role should be more of assisting, and not so much to score goals. Of course, if you score goals, we're not going to mind. That's obvious.
Efficient scorer, bro. That's what made him so great last year.
No, I think you're right. I think when you play in this type of offense, you have your wing backs going high. Him as a winger has to come inside, or else you'd have 2 guys on the outside there. So he has to come in. He's in position to score goals. Yeah. That's who he is. I think for all the blame, I think he should have, for what everybody expects from him. You could say if he scores, you don't have this issue. At the end of the game, you're right, but he had a couple early that normally last year he puts in.
Especially in that first half, there was one where
he kicked one.
I think it was Sarabia passed it to him, and he tried to chip Mateus, but it just went wide.
Right, that was a tough one. That one
for sure. But I'm saying last year he scores that. I say.
Oh, buries it. That
you know what I mean?
In the back of the net. Yeah. Right. But no, we played I thought we played pretty well. We're coming off 2. We had a loss from Marítimo and then we probably should have lost to Famalicão. We scored a friggin' freebie.
Yeah,
the defenders crashed into each other, and we got a goal there. So we should have been off 2 losses. So
down 10 men too, or was that Famalicão?
That was Marítimo. We were down 20 minutes.
Famalicão didn't have a red card too. There wasn't a red card in that game.
I don't think so.
Never mind.
I can't even recall.
It's all good. Quick question for you though, Dave. Because I remember more or less around this time last year when we bought Paulinho, you were specifically telling me Paulinho's not the striker that we're used to in terms of like Slimani, Bas Dost, etc. Having seen Paulinho in Braga, are you shocked at all of this current form of his, I guess, in terms of his goal scoring? Because, I mean, the only one time that he went to the Seleção was under you guys. Your thoughts on so far Paulinho's season?
I mean, it's with you guys, everything's magnified, right? It's everything's in the paper. Everything is under such a big microscope, and it doesn't shock me that the misses are noticeable now. But he had misses then. If you look at, probably go back and look at the highlights from the Rangers game. We were up 2-0 at halftime on the away leg. That game. And I maybe even been the home leg. The English announcer, said, I don't know who this Paulinho guy is, but had he buried any of these shots, this game would have been over. Because he was right in front of the net, missed headers, clear, like from 4 feet out, a header over the crossbar. So he had misses. I think you guys need him to score more goals. And your coach, obviously, if he's going to stick with him, it's because he means something to a game plan. I think if Pot's having a better year, it's not as noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I view it. I've seen him enough to know like he's never going to be this pure 100%, just right in front of the net, feed him, and he's going to score it. But I'm telling you, there's that ability to come back and hold up play. That's why Diak Tomas isn't on your team anymore. He couldn't do it. This coach needs that. When you give up that attack in midfielder to put in a central defender and that three central defender set, you need somebody to come back. You already have wing backs, so even your wingers are going to keep your regular forwards are going to keep going up and be the strikers. How I view it, and it's not shocking to me. He's missed some freebies there, but I just think we got the best years out of him. Abel Ferreira found him in Gil Vicente and said that this guy is involved in like 60 to 70% of Gil Vicente's goals. Go get this guy. That was all it was. And he's always involved some way in the goals. So it doesn't shock me. I just knew he was never going to be that striker. You thought your wingers would score more. This year's not happening.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go for man of the match.
I'm going to transition us with a Ojogu breaking news. Luis Diaz, Liverpool, 45 million plus 15 in objectives.
I thought the Bruno Fernandes deal was bad. That's even worse.
Hey, it looks like Slimani is not coming to Sporting.
And that too.
Yeah. It's saying he makes way too much money, $3 million a year. It's Sporting can pay it off. That's what I thought anyway.
Hey man, it was a fun 10 hours. That was a good 10 hours, bro.
I mean, unless he wants to, he say, hey, okay, I'll go for $1.5 million.
Well, yeah, but he has to negotiate a rescission in that case, which I don't know why that's off the table. Like, come on. He's going to demand $3 million from Sporting, bro. He's not going to give us the hometown discount to kind of try to kickstart the career again.
Some of these guys, they don't take pay cuts. Look at
they want the money. Yeah.
Go to fucking Dubai because that's the only place you're going to get $3 million a year.
Yeah. Oh, China.
Adrian Silva, right? How is that guy not back in Portugal?
Ninguém quer também.
He wants the bread.
He'll come back. You're telling me he doesn't want to retire. Apparently, he's milking everything he has left.
Of course.
Let's not forget also Slimani was the guy that celebrated at the World Cup doing this. Like, he finally made it to the world stage and he was like, money.
I mean, we're talking about Slimani. We're talking about Slimani. He's from Algeria, but let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. He could have been a Sporting, but the money is more important to him. So.
Money, for him, I argue he's psychopathically interested.
Chasing another Champions League.
Would not want that guy back.
No, I agree.
That power struggle between those two would be fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, maybe.
You can't have that guy back.
Ronaldo?
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
Do you watch what he does when he gets subbed off right now in Manchester?
Yeah, I would take him tomorrow. We should sign him in this window.
That's not. Oh my god. Maybe you take him, sure, but if I was Ruben Amorim, I want no part of that.
Hey, maybe he does agree with you, but
he does seem like a nightmare to deal with from that standpoint.
Me as a fan, I would take him. Yeah.
Right.
But ele quer logo ganhar 16 milhões e o Sporting tem 600 milhões na pizza.
They still owe Braga probably that much.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, yeah. So basically, man of the match, and we'll quickly toss it off to Taça da Liga. But before Taça da Liga, I'll just ask one big question to Dave, and we'll take it from there. But man of the match, I'm gonna give mine to Pot, even though he missed the chance. I thought he still played very well. Go ahead, Dave. What do you think?
As much as people want to say that, give it to the kid who scored the goal. He came in at the 88th. I thought Fabiano played a great game on that right side of Braga's defense. He's somebody who I'm a fan of. We own him too, so I'd rather see him play instead of Jan Cortu, who probably would have played it if they've been out on. He's out on COVID, but he played a good game. I didn't see much come from his side. He was more offensive than I thought he'd be. So that to me, that's my man of the match.
Steph?
I'm gonna say the goalie of Braga.
Yeah, some big saves.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Chris?
It's tough. Yeah, I mean, there's no one that really stands out on our side. Yeah, I mean, Paul had a pretty good game. I thought Mateus Nunes played a good pass to get him the ball. No one on our side really stood out. I'll give it to Galenu for provoking the critical moment.
Good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, or is Gayu trying to get him to miss it, going to the penalty spot? Another big thing for us, too. That was the first time Musrati and Castro been in the midfield together in months. Castro's been out injured. He's a big reason why the midfield, you can't have just young kids. We got away with it in the defensive side. You get away with it on the offensive side. Your midfielders have to know how to play football. And it's noticeable. We can go as young as we want. The two people in the middle, one's 34, the other one's 25. Then that's
yeah. That's
I have to tip my hat to Carvalhal. The second half was the tactics. What he knew exactly what to do to make Sporting so unbalanced, and that's what you guys won the game. And congratulations to Braga. They deserve the win. And
I say that the game that we won in Braga last season, that kind of was, I feel like, the turning point. It sealed the title for us, and we just kind of coasted home. We had 10 men. We had no business winning that game. We won on a late winner, so I guess this is payback for that.
Out of the last 5, I think
a couple other times too.
Right, there's been
where we kind of shithoused and got a result. So we had this
it's
coming.
amazing. We've outplayed these friggin' guys and we keep losing. And it's just that's football. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
That's why you watch it. Yeah.
The one time we finally outplayed you guys, I felt at least this game we outplayed you guys is the game we lose. Yeah. So it makes sense.
We could have been winning 2-3-0 in the first half
alone.
But
it wouldn't have shocked me. 3-0 wouldn't have shocked me.
No.
Like it wouldn't have.
This game is the classic case of Kano Marca soft.
Might not.
You know what I mean? And it was literally that. Pot missed in the 91st minute.
Uh-huh.
And then 93rd, 94th, or 5th, whatever it was.
I mean, we got another
Ignacio gives it up, and it's a goal.
Rodrigo Gomes, the other young kid we have that's like 18, he had a kick that just went wide. It was like similar to Jovan's kick, who probably could have went in. But I think on the goal, too, we caught Adan off. There was no way the goalie thought he was going to fucking shoot from there. No way.
The only
literally Eder vibes.
Yeah,
literally
right.
Eder
It
vibes.
was 100%.
The only thing that bothers me is Braga won, and they deserved it. I'm not gonna, debate the win. They won, but it has no purpose to them than the 4th place. They're not gonna get the 3rd place. So now we fell behind Porto by 6 points because the next day they won. But that's it. All they accomplished is to give the title to Porto. That's all. It doesn't matter.
Right.
That's what bothers me.
Yet, it's not over yet.
No, it's not over.
I think that's Braga's script is to disrupt a bit.
Have you guys seen the tendencies towards the APAF? How look at the chart of how many yellow cards and red cards. Who's got the most? Claro, Sporting. We own that. We own that.
Here's my question: Is Coates's suspension served, even though he's not in the squad?
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Because if so, that's clutch.
Probably is. That's right.
Clutch. Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, he couldn't be in the squad regardless, so I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, now it's 2 games. It's like, come on, that has to count, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The one thing that bothers me in the Portuguese football is how Pinto Costa is still involved in soccer. That bothers me.
Bro, he's falling in the calendar year.
Man.
You can't. He's not, dude.
He's falling in 2022.
He's not. No, they're going to vote for him.
Vieira went down. I used to say the same thing about Vieira. Vieira went down. He's next.
Benfica's
not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything, but he will have to
look at my president. He's been there for 20 years too. If people catch him skimming off the top, they say you get no charges for it. But he's running unopposed.
God.
Yeah.
They're going to build a statue there. The fucking team is in a better place now. For even if people, if half of the articles that come out about him, and I'm critical of Portuguese journalism, I'm okay if it needs. I want some facts. If you get caught, throw the fucking guy in jail. What are we doing? Nobody in Portugal.
I felt the same way.
Fraud is not a crime in Portugal.
No one's gone to jail.
Let's first say that fraud is not a crime.
No, I mean, if you're Portista, you applaud that shit out. This isn't gangs for them.
But they don't go to jail, so you have to support your guy. That's all I'm saying. They don't throw the guy in jail.
The Benfiquistas were like that not too long ago. Luis Vieira, they loved him. They loved him. So now they hate him. The only people I knew that didn't like him was Cynthia and Mario. Those two Benfiquistas were for real. They were like, I don't like this Luis Vieira. He's got to go. Besides them, every other Benfiquista loved him.
Tell me, who do they abuse power? 100%. There's conflicts of interest, abuse of funds, misappropriation of funds. These things aren't charges anywhere. They don't. I thought this guy, they had some number down to like 80 million. And didn't they take a picture of him walking down the street not too long ago? And like, there needs to be more legitimate bombshells. If not, all you do is galvanize a fan base to hate everybody else, and they like it. So there's a toxicity.
Even the manner in which
Portuguese football.
Even the manner in which like the leaks come out, it's just it's clear like where they're trying to direct your anger and how they're curating what they're releasing. It's just, it's
the journalism just lousy. I mean, you fucking.
In Portugal, it's terrible.
It's shoddy.
I mean, Slimani was at Sporting 5 hours ago, and now Record says no, he's not coming. So there it is, you know.
Record, honestly, you know what? When someone else says something about Sporting that they're like someone's breaking a story, if they don't know already, they must just like laugh. Because they're like, well, who did these guys talk to? Like, we know everybody. If that was happening, they would have told us. It's like, what do these guys think they're doing? You know.
But I gotta tell you,
Ebola. It's like, Ebola needs to just.
It's all fake.
It's all fake, bro. It's literally they just need to fill the pages with something sporting.
Ebola should be called Sporting Lisboa e Benfica. I'm not going to tell you why there's an E in between Sport Lisboa and Benfica. You guys should know it by now. Because one was, you know why, Dave, right?
Listen, people need to just go to jail and they need to get away. You shouldn't be in charge for fucking. Should you be a president for 25, 30 years?
No.
I mean, that already is pretty suspicious to begin with.
But it's you're going to get. There's no way these guys don't have slush funds for themselves.
Oh, they absolutely do. They all have offshores.
Listen, I think your last president, I end up liking him more, but there are certain points I liked about your last president. He didn't believe players should have third-party owners. He didn't believe in paying commissions that were fucking skyrocket high. I should own the whole.
Which one are you talking about? The Big Brothers?
Yeah, I like that, dude. The more I watch the fucking guy, I like it. I don't watch anybody.
He was recently on a threesome, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I watched the podcast you guys had.
I love
he's
him.
A maniac.
I love him.
He is, yeah.
He's a maniac. I love him. That guy should he should have his own TV show, for Christ's sakes. But
he kind of does now.
He probably will after this, huh?
Right. There were things where he makes sense on, and football is just it's built off passion, but it's all money.
Hey, Steph, no sponsors, bro. They're not paying us.
I'm paying them.
Let's get into some Taça da Liga real quick before I know we had some other things to talk. Actually, Dave, before we get into Taça da Liga, I'll throw the lineup up real quick. But I wanted to quickly ask about your manager situation because obviously Carvajal was flirting with Flamengo for a while, and that was a whole deal. And basically, the Junt, João Mario, and etc. didn't leave. So Carvajal didn't leave. But what's that whole situation looking like? I mean, Carvajal basically, Steph talked about it earlier in terms of stability with a manager. I'd say Braga has somewhat of that stability with Carvajal now for almost 2 seasons. What's that situation looking like, though?
I think there are issues. I don't think he's going to be here long term. Would it shock me now? He's from Braga. He played there. He's from there. But he markets himself so much. Like every other month, he's on Talk Sports in England talking about his accomplishments. He was on the Spanish outlet Marca
Yeah.
And he's always promoting himself. And I think he wants nothing more than to go back to England. You know, maybe that's why he wanted to go to Brazil, the money too. So it wouldn't shock me. I think the players know it. The players see it. I think there are players who lost confidence in them in a sense, like they're not performing because they know it's temporary.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big issue with him. So it wouldn't shock me. So right now I'm on the fence though because he's pushing this project, but I don't think he was sold on it. He's pushing it, but he also, when the pressure's on, he says, "Yeah, I need reinforcements." And then the whole Paulinho thing, Paulinho's not going, Paulinho's not going, Paulinho's not going. And then what happens? Hey, ask the president, not me. So I don't think he was sold on. And once you sold his striker, he said, "This is not it's not what I wanted." You were knocking on the door, and everything needed to go right, and now you're selling your pieces, and you're going straight to. You can't win for all. That's why I was asking about the youth movement. You can't win the league with all 19-year-old kids.
No,
you know you got to hope you hit on 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we bought like Neto, Fadal. What other old timer did we buy?
Right. So all the youth players can go there because maybe they'll get a look.
Adan.
Yeah.
Right. But you need some veteran presence to do it. Now, I will say this will probably be, besides Paciencia, which might be the best accomplishment for Braga making a European final. Second place finish. You're talking. This might be one of the best coaching jobs I've seen as of late. I mean, Jorge Simão was here. Fucking Sapinto
Amorim did a good job, but it was just like for what, 3 months?
But even right. 11 games.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he saw it. He saw it. He said, "Fuck, I'm gonna go somewhere that has money. I'm gone."
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. I think we're gonna end up getting a new coach. It wouldn't shock me. It's probably, if I had a choice,
Vidigal.
We'd at least play defense.
Bro.
I'm fine to say it.
It wouldn't shock me. At this point, it wouldn't shock me for anything. You know, it's probably going to be the B team coach, Arthur Jorge. It wouldn't. I wouldn't mind the Suarez and Gil Vicente. I think is a good coach. Whether he went to Moreirense or Gil, he had a solid team. He played well. I like the way he plays.
I like the coach from Santa Clara.
Mario Silva. He was with Rio Ave, right? When they went to that year, when they went to Europe and they knocked out Besiktas and
almost did
knocked out AC. Right. They didn't recover.
He gave us a hard time yesterday, and when we lost against them.
Him and Vasco Seabra and Marítimo, dude, that guy's a good coach, man. His teams play. I like the way they play. I liked Antonio Foglia too. I was a fan of that, the way Portimão played under him.
Do Porto, yeah.
He's on the B team now, right?
Yeah.
That's where he is.
That's his only downfall at the Porto.
Yeah, sure. But, no, I think they're going to end up getting a new coach. Who they get, fuck, he'll probably be the guy in Estoril, right? He was supposed to go to Besiktas, and something kept him back.
Yeah.
Right? What kept him back is probably fucking Salvador told him you're going to get the Braga job once Carvalhal leaves. So
yeah, basically.
Maybe. Yeah. Good point.
Portugal's nuts.
Not a bad shout for a replacement manager though.
They gave up on him too. Look, there's a ship taken in water since he came back since he took Besiktas and then turned it down.
Yeah, that's true. Bro, I think that's why your season has gone how it's gone, is because, you know, the same way you were saying, the players don't believe it. They know that he wanted to leave. So
right.
And it's probably similar happening now to Estoril, right?
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Pretty much.
All right, let's quickly touch on the Taça Portugal, and then we'll
touch on the Liga.
Taça da Liga. Thank you very much, Steph. Sporting's 11 was I think I have the wrong one here. Yeah, it's saying Nuno Mendes.
No, you're probably looking at it.
I just took that in right now. Anyways, let me tell you real quick from my phone. I won't pull it up here. But we had Porto, the one that I seen Porto, I was like, what the fuck? We had Adan, Luís Neto, Inácio, Mateus Reis, Isgaio, Nuno Santos, looking like Slim Shady, by the way. Ugarte, João Pedinho in the midfield with Sarabia, Tabata, and Pot up top. Christian, I'll start this game off with you, dude. What were your thoughts on this game?
I mean, this game was honestly pretty underwhelming. I mean, they obviously got a savage Lincoln goal. against the run and play, which I guess is going to happen every time we play them now. They weren't creating much. I mean, we obviously had all the dangerous moments, but it's just a shithouse, slightly rotated squad. I don't know. I just feel like we didn't have like the it factor in this game, like at any point, and the goals were both very fortunate, and yeah, I mean, this could have easily been a draw, and I could have seen this. I thought for sure this was going to be a draw, 1-1 draw, and gone to PKs, and it would have been, flip a coin to see if we made it to final or not. So luckily, we were able to at least not have to do that, I guess. Truthfully, when they were talking about Virginia was going to start it out, I was just thinking about the cinder block foot Ajax PK, and I was just like, this game's going to go to PKs, and we're going to have to see him just not come close on any of them. But he surprisingly started it on, and surprisingly didn't go to PKs. So, I mean, if we win a Tacit League knockout Final Four game that isn't in PKs, I'm here for it, because you don't see those too often.
We did last season, right?
In regulation, we won a Final Four game.
Wasn't it?
We might have won. We might have won one or two, but I feel like we've won more in PKs than we've won in regulation.
Yeah. True.
Over the years, over the last like 4 years, I'll say.
Definitely under the Varandas reigns for sure. Steph, take it away. What were your thoughts on this game?
Well, I did watch the whole game, and I was home. Actually, I was off, and then I was a little bit kind of surprised. I thought Sporting was already thinking about the final against Benfica, and we weren't playing at 100%. You could see the demeanor and the attitude of the players on the pitch. It was kind of disrespectful to Santa Clara. And they took advantage of it. They said, "Okay, you don't want to respect us. We're gonna surprise you." And why am I saying that? When was the last time you saw the barrier Pereira with only 2 players? I haven't seen that in a while. We totally gave Lincoln the upper hand. And then the ball went in between the 2 players, and we went right inside. And we didn't play to the full of our abilities. And Matheus Nunes, it was a big disappointment. I was expecting more from him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he wants to be sold, if he doesn't want to be a Sporting anymore, but he's not performing to the level he's capable of. Paulinho again, he missed a goal 2 inches away. I mean, holy shit! I've seen Chinese people. I've seen Chinese people make babies with 2 inches. But anyway, what can I tell you? It was overall Sporting didn't deserve to win the game. Santa Clara actually was the most dangerous team, and they deserve to go to the final. I'm a Portuguese, but I'll say it the way it is. You know me. I'm not going to be sugarcoating it. I know everybody said, including Ruben Amorim, Tabata in the flash interview, that we deserve to win the game and go to the final. I don't think so. I think Santa Clara was much better than we played. Like Chris said, we didn't even score a goal. We didn't. If you look at the game, we didn't score a goal.
Should be Boa Vista Santa Clara, bro.
Yeah,
Boa Vista.
Yeah, exactly.
The fucking free goal they gave up.
Yeah. One goal was a autogol do Central do Santa Clara. And the second goal was a PK, and it was a PK. I didn't think he deserved the red card. It was too harsh of the referee.
To me, I didn't see an angle that showed to me that he had to stop the ball from going into the net.
No, it was a handball.
No, I'm saying, but for it to be a red, he would have had to stop the goal.
Exactly.
And I don't know if the header was going in the net. At least there's not definitive proof that it was going in the net. So
another
yellow.
Because an argument I heard was because it deflected off his foot. What was it? It's not a goal. It's not an exact goal scoring opportunity, right? Like it's not going exactly.
If it deflected off his foot, you can make a case that it wasn't a handball at all. Then But I
No,
don't think
because it hits his foot. No, oh, sorry. It hits his arm and then foot, or
Right.
foot and then arm. I think it's
it
foot and then
looks
arm
like
and then
it
goes
could.
out,
It
right?
looks like it might hit his foot, but I don't think it does.
Yeah, it was a PK. No doubts
No
about
doubt,
that.
no doubt. But
Because
red is harsh.
O
Red is
braço,
harsh.
o braço foi assim. If
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
against his body, não era. Mas foi assim. Agora, the red card was extremely too extreme. And why am I saying this today? Because one day it's going to happen to us, and we're not going to like it.
We
Right.
And
literally the game
yeah.
before we had one we didn't like.
And that's why I'm saying that at Bracarense. And then we saw
'Cause this was
Benfica and
VAR too.
Porto.
They
And
looked at this.
How long did it take for them to go for the ref to make the decision?
5 minutes.
Five
Yeah, it took a
minutes.
while. It took a while.
Yeah.
I'm
He
listening. I
listened-
happened to have just turned it on the radio, driving on Antena 1, and the announcer said this is more of like the ball hitting the hand than the hand hitting the ball. So he didn't think it was a PK. So I didn't see it. I didn't get to look at it yet, but he said it might have been ricocheting. If I understood it right, I'm not sure. Was it a header?
Came off a header.
Nah.
Right.
He was lifting his leg up. So the
But yeah.
argument is if you're lifting your leg up like that, the natural position of your arm is where it is. Because
Right.
you're not just going to have your arms at your side
Right.
if you're lifting your leg up, you know? So
And not to beat a dead horse here, but why the fuck did they take so long to go look at a call, look at a
yeah,
video?
no, it's like you got to listen for 5 minutes to then go look at it. It's like just go look at it,
Just
bro.
bananas.
What are you doing?
Well,
Yeah.
I know why it takes that long because it's called APAF, the Portuguese league. That's why. Because if it's a Premier League, it's called a PK within seconds. Beep!
Right.
He already confirmed it. The guy on the pitch, the referee on the pitch, he doesn't even go and check.
I was gonna
He's
say.
trusting this
Right,
guy.
right,
He's
right.
trusting him. But
That's the only
Portuguese-
problem with the Premier League, though,
Yeah.
is the referee doesn't go to see. In my opinion,
No,
the
that's not
referee
a problem.
doesn't go to see it. To me, that's a problem.
To me, that's not a problem because they're
Yeah.
trusting each other. It's a trust thing.
Yeah, that
Because
is true. Your
the-
job is to be the video referee. So yeah,
The,
I'm not- I see that.
the VAR referee is a full qualified referee that does the refereeing on the pitch as well. In that specific game, he was giving the assignment of being the VAR referee. So if it's me and you, Denny, and we trust each other, we know each other for X amount of years,
That's true.
you know you have the same quals and we have the same capabilities, I should be able to trust you.
Yeah.
Hey, Denny, is it a PK, bro? Yeah, it's a PK. Okay, thank you.
In
Acabou.
Portugal, can you
Yeah, true.
imagine the ref not going to look at it, even if the guy said, "Hey, it's a PK,"
polemica.
just go there for? Oh my
Well,
god!
sometimes they do, but
Sometimes
only
you do
if
it.
it's obvious.
Polemica.
Yeah, but dude, it-
Only if it,
In Portugal, with 6,000 fans, when it's a big game, they make that a big of a deal. And in the Premier League, they have a full stadium and nobody makes a big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Pá, vamos para o caralho, meu. Vão. Sabes o que é? É falta de evolução em Portugal. É tudo atrasado mental.
right. So, one more question for this. So, Lincoln is what, 22, 23 years old?
I
Around
think he's
there,
yeah.
older.
Let me check.
I think he's a little bit older.
I
But
think
it-
it's something.
they're gonna
But
sell
he's
him
young.
to
But he is young.
Yeah.
He's an awesome player, yeah.
Yeah. Him or Bragança? You gotta give up
23.
Bragança to get him, right? Would you do it?
No.
Nah,
Nah.
They're different players, though.
nah.
Now,
They-
if you tell
they
me,
both
am I
would
giving
be-
up? Am I
Giovanni,
giving up Jovan?
Giovanni, yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
Sabata?
maybe, but he's a midfielder.
Oh, yeah.
He for them,
He's
he
attacking
plays like an
midfielder,
attacking
though.
midfielder for something.
Yeah.
Maybe some other coach sees him as something different.
As
But he's
a-
like an
as a
attacking
winger.
midfielder.
It could be a winger. He's got the
Definitely.
speed. Yeah.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
He burnt. He had a free kick in extra time against Braga. We have like 6 draws, I think, at this point of the season, maybe 5, 6. I thought we were good as out of Ponta Delgado with 3 points, and he shut that shit the fuck down. He's a good player. I can't see him staying in Santa Clara long.
Unpopular
They
opinion.
clearly have good external business because they ship
Yeah.
anyone out the second they get hot.
Right.
Saudi Arabia's calling.
Dude,
Outta here.
Lincoln literally might not make it out of this window, bro. Like, it
Dude, he's
never
been there for
doubt
a couple
them.
years.
I don't know.
you're
Never,
right.
He's
They
been
might
with
be asking for
4
large
days,
money.
4
for him,
days is enough time. 4
he's
days
been
is
with
enough
Santa
time.
Clara for a while though.
He's like 2
me
years,
see.
3 years.
Yeah,
This might be his third, maybe.
Yeah.
Since 2019, I think it said here.
Yeah,
But I think,
2019.
years.
I think you'd have to
16
give up
appearances.
Bragança to get him because he would block. I can't
No.
see them. Yeah,
No, we're not gonna give up against.
he's
I'd
gonna
see
want to
him more as a
go.
winger, though.
He's gonna want to go.
But against, he's not only a great soccer player at Sporting, but he's also a great surfer. So we're winning 2 titles with him. When he surfs and when he plays soccer.
Good.
Aquele penteado, meu. Pô,
That hair, I know, yeah. I can build this guy. You could use it, Steph.
I could.
No,
Quickly,
I think Bragança is going to ask to leave if he don't get any more playing time soon.
I think Nunes is out next window.
I think Peling is out too.
And Peling is out too, so that Bragança, Ugarte, and then maybe some pieces.
It's going to be Ugarte and Bragança as the starting center.
Because Amorim loves Bragança, man. Every press conference he's talking about Bragança and how he wishes he can give him more minutes, etc., etc. So
I think if Peling is
that's because you don't want to lose him.
That's true too.
We're gonna get the next como é que chama-se o jogador de Braga, the midfielder. No, the number 6. The number 6 of Braga.
Musrati?
Musrati. Yeah, if we sell,
he's too expensive. We can't afford him.
Yeah, we can.
But he plays for Braga though. We'll make exceptions.
How much is he?
You name the price.
Doesn't matter, Steph. Bro, we can pay Braga in 2 years. They'll still accept it.
In my 2 years.
Like Plus interest. Yeah, so it's 20 million plus
Salvador
interest.
takes Bitcoin and everything, bro. Don't worry about that shit.
Do his guys.
Yeah. No, I think he's gonna get sold this window too. This upcoming summer, he's gonna be gone.
Yeah, for sure. And on Lincoln,
he's good. I like him.
He's a good player. He wants out. He wants out.
Unpopular opinion on Lincoln. I'd rather, because of Sporting currently, I'd rather us waste that money on a left winger like Lincoln than spend it on Marcus Edwards. Let me just throw that out there too. It could be recency bias because I just seen him twice really sauce over Sporting, but I'd rather him over Marcus Edwards at this point.
But since you touched the issue, let me ask all the 3 of you: do you think it's a good deal, the Marcus Edwards? So they talking about paying 8 million, including o Cabral, né?
No,
just
Plata.
Gaspar? No.
And Gaspar.
Gaspar, yeah.
Qual é o nome dele, o último nome?
Bruno Gaspar e o Gonçalo
Gaspar and Plata. Do you think that's a good deal?
Loans or
no?
Or
no, not.
Bruno Gaspar is probably outright. I think Plata might be a loan.
No, they said it's
outright. Both of them outright.
Yeah,
and 8 million.
Gordon has never said that.
Exactly. Okay, there you go.
Others have said Plata. Record has never said Plata. Record has insisted the whole time it's not Tabata or Plata. So but for argument's sake, think of it as just Gaspar and 8 mil because I feel like that is or 8 for 50% plus Gaspar.
That's not bad considering the English tax. Considering because every English player goes for a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna continue to say it. I don't see the purpose of it. Like I just said, I think Lincoln might be better.
No, I see the purpose because Sarabia is gone next year.
Okay,
that's the purpose.
I still think we can get better than Marcus Edwards. Personally, in terms of a marketing,
in Portugal, no.
In terms of a marketing standpoint,
8 million.
An English team would be an English player would be amazing.
8 million is nothing nowadays.
As a player, for 8 million, Bruno Gaspar, whatever. Thank you for taking him.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's not.
Okay, so you have Marcus Edwards and Mikis Cabras. Which one?
And who?
Mikis Cabras. Anyway,
he's a good player. I don't know what you got to pay in commissions on top of it or what.
Yeah, exactly.
Marcus Edwards is a good player. I can understand why you.
The deal's not. Here's the thing: is the deal itself is not that bad, right? The 8 or 7.5 for 50% of our 50% deals. Like this is actually like on paper probably one of the better ones. Obviously, the pot deal looks better in hindsight, right? His market value has evolved a lot. Like it looks less bad. So whatever you want to say about that. But like, yeah, I think Edwards' valuation on transfer market, for example, is like 13 or 14. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's not that far off. We're paying maybe a January window tax. Like, it's not awful. But with 8 mil, I think you get 100% of the pass of a very talented winger in a not top 5 league.
If you're Tottenham, do you sell
or a player that doesn't share a pass with Tottenham Hotspur? Like That's the other thing. So it's like I think both things could be true at the same time. Like the Edwards valuation can be fair, but like, are there smarter ways to invest the same amount of money that could potentially pay off as well in the future? Are we ever gonna buy the other percent of the Tottenham pass? It's like it's just gonna leave us in 3 years in a much worse situation. Like, yes, can he help us now? Can he help us next season? But just like again on the books, like, is this smart business? I'm not sold on that.
I'm kind of with Juicebox here. I'd rather give Tabata a chance as well. I've seen a lot from Tabata, and he barely gets a chance. I don't know about. Listen, Marcus Edwards taking a guy one-on-one. I'm with you. He's one of the best, or not one of the best, but he's really good.
I think he's one of the best.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Is he one of the best in Portugal?
I think taking.
I don't think he cracks top. Maybe
he's
top
not
10.
Luis Diaz, bro. But
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Let's do top 5. Like him. Plot one-on-one is pretty good. Sarabia one-on-one is pretty good. Rafa one-on-one is probably like top 2, I should say. In Braga, okay, maybe he's better than Galeno, who's on the other wing.
He's more technical skill. I'd say he can hold the ball better. Him, Samuel Lino, and Gil Vicente.
Jaime from Famalicão. Okay, Chiquinho from Estoril just left.
Yeah,
he's top 10 maybe. One-on-one, I'm definitely giving him top 10.
Rafa Benfica, I like him.
I like him too.
Right. I like
saying. I'm saying he's top 2. When it comes one-on-one against a guy, Rafa is probably just second best to Luis Diaz right now.
Yeah, I think Rafa just.
Obviously, we're not buying.
Yeah, talking about Rafa, I think he joined the wrong team. To tell the truth,
he should have joined the team of his heart. He's just Portuguese.
He had choice.
Yeah,
it was his choice to go there.
Yeah, I think he picked the wrong team. And I'm not discounting Benfica because the moment of a player is who's the coach. Is the coach gonna play your style the way you play the best? And then he went com Jorge Jesus e ele não percebe nada daquela merda. I never liked Jorge Jesus. He's I would never like a coach that flips and flops between big clubs. Para mim não presta.
I don't mind it, but it's the arrogance behind it, to be honest.
I got a question for you. This is I think I asked Danny this before a while back. Do you think Sporting pick up what's the Spaniard's purchase clause for Man City? What's his name?
Porto.
Do you think they pick up the option to buy him?
Yeah.
They better.
Given his injuries, given the amount of you spent $5 million on a backup, and then you got Esteves, who you think could be something in 3 years.
I think they think they're gonna flip Porro.
Yeah, Esteves is how old is he? 18, 19?
Yeah, 3 years.
I think he might be 17.
Yeah,
you paid $5 million for a backup.
I don't think. To tell the truth, I'm going to say something no one is expecting. I don't think Porro was that injured. I think it was more personal issues.
I think he's injured. Yeah. I think he constantly is injured.
He was injured, but then on a personal basis, his grandma passed away, and then he broke up with his girlfriend. So I think mentally he wasn't there.
Yeah, maybe.
And then clubs nowadays they protect their players and they rather blame it on an injury when it's something personal. It was like he didn't play since November, I believe. It was almost 2 months. So I think it was a little bit more than just.
He came back for one game and then he was out again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he didn't even play. He was in the training. He was in the warm-ups when he got injured or some shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like recently. Right. He never actually even played.
Coxa direita, uma coisa assim.
Maybe he does have some shit going on.
I do see what Dave is saying because he is mad injury prone. So $8 million is a lot, but I think we're negotiating that price. That's why we haven't triggered it yet.
Maybe that's why you keep saying he's injured. Maybe he doesn't want to be in Man City. Maybe he's okay with being in Sporting, but he's gonna play these injuries cards because
he's more than okay with being at Sporting, from what we've seen at least.
Look,
the guy fucking bleeds Sporting. Right.
At this point. Of course he loves Sporting. He even broke up with his girlfriend.
Okay. Here we go. Because you know how he's always like tweeting though, right? Yeah. He's like constantly like into the game. He's into everything. He's always. Is he overcompensating? Or do you or he thinks like, oh, I don't want them to think anything's up. So like they'll just think this is normal. But I'm at the point where I'm like, is this normal or is he going over the top?
Yeah, you're in a.
We're doing advanced psychology here now.
I like Poro, and to answer David's question, I would buy him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Someone will pay more than someone will pay more than 9.5. So I think
even if I had to sell a Curva Sul lá do estádio, I would sell him.
Well, that is what's going to happen because the 9.5 is going to have to come from
somewhere. They can't afford it right now.
Hey, I called Varandas and I told him I know how to fix the financial problem of Sporting. We just have to open a few go-go bars around the stadium and we're good to go.
Next time you're calling Varandas, tell him to get on the podcast. We have some questions for him, bro.
He's going to mumble. He's going to struggle.
All right, boys, it's been a long one. I don't know if you guys want to quickly touch points. If not, we can also do it on the next podcast. But yeah, take it away, Chris or Steph, like in terms of Modalidades too, like a quick recap.
Before you, sorry,
go take it away.
I want your opinion on can you see this?
I totally forgot. No, let's get your opinion first. Yeah. Let's get your opinion first. I totally forgot about that.
I think this is something that I think. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a good point.
That's embarrassing. Yeah.
This is not a soccer fan. That's not a fan of somebody who enjoys the sport. Football's not about fucking. I get it. You can yell at the players. Portugal has that issue where the players in certain teams they haven't. Altercations with their own fans. It happens. I think that's disgusting. I have no idea how they solve that problem. I don't think that guy represents a club, a team, or if you do shit like that, that's just a disgusting act, and it's an embarrassment. If Portugal already didn't have enough fucking embarrassments with that, letting Bill Lintz play or B-Sod play is not even a real fucking team, but letting them play with how many guys do they have? Enough embarrassments. This is another one too. Because that's just a terrible act, and no player should be celebrating with his own fans get hit in the head with a bottle.
No. It's sad because I know that Sporting would have cared more, and if this was a clock thing, like they would have issued a public apology to Braga. They would have done a lot more stuff than they did.
I think they did apologize.
They did
apologize.
They did, but they didn't really make a big deal out of it, and they didn't. There was no follow up. Like we've identified it. It was this guy. He's now banned. They didn't do any of that shit.
And that's where I struggle. Sporting did apologize with comunicado. They apologized to Braga officially. Ruben Amorim apologized on live TV. Abraço ao Ricardo Horta. Me as a fan apologize to the Braga fans. I know I don't mean anything, but as a fan, it's disgusting. But there's one thing that bothers me the most. Why the fuck do we have police on the stadium if they don't do anything? There's CCTVs across the stadium, and they know exactly. They could angle the camera and see who's the fan. So why don't you go after the fan? Why is Portugal?
So do you think they know who it is?
I don't know if they've done their job. Because eu sou da PSP ou da GNR.
Because there's really only two options here. One is they don't have footage because their cameras are bullshit and they literally have no crowd control and like what they should have surveillance they don't. Or option two is they know who it is, but it's like inconvenient for this person.
But there it is.
Honestly, I feel like it's more option one than two.
Yeah.
But it's in Portugal, everything's an inconvenience. But then when Sporting gets hit, I think this was a $5,000 fine for a bottle. A bottle thrown to Ricardo Horta, and to me, should have been $20,000 fine.
Right.
A little bit more. But at the same time, I don't think the club should pay for it. What should be paid for is Braga, Sporting, Benfica, Porto, Guimarães, it doesn't matter which club, they pay for PSP and GNR to be there. It's not for free. They don't go there for free. Yeah. So why are we paying PSP and GNR to be there if they're not doing their fucking job? That's my take on it. We have the police and we have to pay them overtime. They don't go over there on regular time. We pay them overtime.
I guess here's a third option. They have identified it, but they haven't said anything publicly, which I feel like is Not likely. That's probably the least likely.
No.
But it's not. It's not
Not for this
supposed to
serving
be.
up his own fans.
But it's not supposed to be Sporting.
Because remember the just a couple like last week, a fan made like racist remarks against a Sporting youth player.
At
like,
16 years old.
Was there any follow up to that? Like, do they know who that was? Like, how many fucking people were at this game? Like 100? Like, you can't.
I agree.
Zero in on who said it. Like
the basketball team, like 2 months ago or some shit like that. Not even 2 months ago.
Like they just
nothing
don't
came
follow
of that either.
up on anything. Bro. There's just like no penalty for anything.
But what happens here in the United States? Tell me.
Bro,
I mean, honestly, I think we're too heavy-handed.
No. I
No.
agree. It's lifetime bans and shit like that. You can't enter the stadium after this.
I love it.
Sometimes even criminal charges.
But that's the way.
The bottle, especially racism.
They identify the guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the bottle guy would have spent a night in prison. And it's I don't.
You should be banned from soccer, from the arena.
Yeah,
you should never be able to watch soccer ever again.
That's their push for that cartão do adepto, right? They want to know who's in the stadium. They want to know what this is how.
But the problem is this bottle got thrown from the central, you know? So that's not a fan card zone.
But they were funneling in at the time, right? They were funneling out.
How many witnesses over there? Many witnesses.
Nobody's how can you gotta be able to figure it out.
But this is not a team issue, and as much as it sucks that happened. I mean, what a fucking throw, though, huh?
Pinpoint, bro. Somebody we actually fucking hate.
Alvalade has like the closest stands are further back than at most places.
Exactly.
We have a moat.
We
don't have a track, so a track
play darts.
Yeah, we have
baseball. Get that guy in the MLB. What the fuck? Get him to spring training.
Don't they take the cap? Did he keep his cap?
Yeah, I don't know.
And it was full type. Like
that's embarrassing. Yeah.
Right. But that's not.
That's another breach. If he has the cap still, right? Isn't that someone else fucked up?
I mean, don't get me wrong. As soon as the game was over, I turned off my TV. I turned off my TV because I didn't want to see the Braga players celebrating. I take it to the heart. I was devastated. I told the wife, let's go to the park and walk the dog. I was walking myself, not the dog, because I was frustrated. I'm a sore loser. I stayed away from Twitter. I deleted the Twitter application on my phone, and then I got it back to them. I mean, I do it all the time. I get out of the group chat and come back. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, you're back. Because I hate losing. But Braga won fair and square, and what happened to Ricardo Horta was an embarrassment. And I blame Portuguese law enforcement. As much as we say Sporting, Braga, Benfica should control the stadium, it's impossible for them to control the stadium. It's impossible.
Yeah.
The clubs, they cannot control it.
They're just too incompetent. They just
it's not the club. It's the law enforcement on the stadium.
No,
they can't get people into the stadium. How many times have you read
in America,
that?
Most
fans
clubs
didn't
in
get in
America
until 20-something minutes.
Security, or they rent private.
Exactly, and we do too. They called with yellow jacket stewards. At that time, palavra americana stewards. Mr. Live.
What are they there to do then?
They're giving away pretzels, I guess.
They don't have cameras? They can't afford cameras?
They have cameras.
Listen,
so they don't
let me just tell you quickly.
The Portuguese league uses the cameras to penalize Sporting Braga and Porto when we break chairs and we burn them away.
Players, it's like
what the fuck? So why don't you use them against them?
About the stewards, let me just tell you quickly. And it's currently 3 a.m. in Portugal. We're an hour and 40 in. I hope they don't see this. They might not even understand English. I have a tia and her son that have worked as stewards for a Benfica game. They're not doing shit. They're just there to sit down, collect the paycheck, and then go right back to Havana.
They're not stopping you from running.
They're not stopping you from throwing a bottle, and then they're not paying enough attention to be like, hey, that's there.
The fucking concession person, I think, fucked up too, also. And also, the thrower is also a psycho for throwing it.
Right.
Like, there's
how did a bottle
multiple layers of fuck up.
Yeah, maybe.
Now listen,
no more drinks, no more water, nothing.
I'm not blaming law enforcement for whoever threw the bottle. I'm blaming law enforcement
for the lack of accountability
for not doing anything about it. I'm not saying at that moment they have to do something about it because it takes time to see who threw the bottle. But you have enough tools in your hands, like cameras, to figure it out later. Okay, it was this guy, and then let's run it to our database. Okay, who the hell is this guy? David Pereira, the Braga. The Red Sox, Red Sox fan. Fuck him. But let's get him.
No, but you're right. The stewards, what they leave as soon as the game's over too. They see people coming out. Oh, game's over. Let's go home. No, they don't get in line and walk out. They're supposed to wait till everybody gets out.
You know what happens in Portugal, and I'm going to tell you this because if you go to Portugal, now you know. So my father calls me the other day, and he tells me on the messenger, and then every time we do a messenger, I'm looking at his dog because he forgets to turn the camera to himself, and I'm looking at his dog. And then he tells me, apanhei uma multa. Até como assim? Não sei, apanhei no correio. Até como é que apanhaste a multa? Foi gajo da PSP, tinha telefone, eu estava no telefone a conduzir, ele tirou uma multa da matrícula e mandou uma multa pelo correio. So in Portugal, they're very advanced for certain things. So if you're on your cell phone driving, the police officers, by law in Portugal, they're allowed to take a picture of your license plate and send you the fine saying on such and such a date, at that time, you were on the phone. They don't even have to take a picture of you on the phone, just a license plate, and mail you the ticket. So you telling me that they're able to do the kind of shit, but on the fucking stadiums, the stewards couldn't take a picture or be more proactive, or the PSP or GNR couldn't do more with all kind Sporting,
or even the CCTV cameras.
CCTV, o Porto, Sporting, Benfica, Braga, Guimarães, they have state-of-the-art stadiums. You telling me they don't have enough CCTVs to see who did it? The thing is, they don't want to bother with it. And in Portugal, it's disgusting when you have a guy calling uma rapariga de 16 anos macaca, like he did to a Sportingista. That's embarrassing. This guy should be thrown to jail. He should be fined heavily.
But they don't want to throw their own fans in. They don't. They don't care. They're like, no.
No, who gives a fuck? They should.
I hear you. That's what happens. Yeah. They don't care.
This administration, I don't think that's that, bro. I think this administration will throw their fan for Sporting, at least personally. I think we would give any opportunity to throw a fan under the bus.
You throw the
personally
under the bus,
but in this case,
Clock, and like to Chris's point, if it was Steph, if it was Clock, I feel like that guy would be found done out of the stadium right away because it's a regular fan. Maybe they're more nonchalant. I wonder, not saying that Braga is irrelevant here, but I wonder if it was more of a Benfica or Porto, if that would be an elevated incident. I also start to wonder, I mean, I personally don't think it's a Sporting problem. Some people may say it's all those Sportingistas, they don't know how to lose anymore, blah, blah, blah. I just personally think it's a Portuguese fan problem because none of us know how to lose. I mean, it happens at Sporting as much as it happens at Benfica and Porto, you know?
It's toxic, man.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
Yeah. One loss and everyone's ready to burn
losing
it down
their fucking minds. Yeah.
Nah, to me,
one loss to a good team. Like
to me, the fan we got, we deserved it. But but whoever doesn't agree with Varandas when he says, "Stop! Don't throw flashes and foguetes, e telefones, e garrafas." So now we all agree with Varandas, or no? Or we still don't? Oh, we still don't. I know most people don't like Varandas, but you know what? He's the one who hired Ruben Amorim. We won a championship with him. Uma Taça Portugal, Champions League do futsal. Ganhamos o Campeonato Nacional de Futsal. We basketball. We won over 32 titles last year. Mas o Varandas continua a ser muito mal.
E futebol praia?
Futebol praia foi vocês.
Oh, thank you. There you go. I get my little screw. There you
go. And you guys lost in the International Cup because you guys were robbed.
To the same Russian team, though. If you look back, it's like I think it was the same Russian team the last 3 years, and back and forth they went.
I know, but you guys didn't even sleep 6 hours. They kept you in the airport. They played games. Like that, yeah. So they kept them because of the COVID-19 and não tinham visas e o caralho. Yeah. They got to the soccer game with 6 hours of sleep inside the airport. They got there late. They still made the final, and then 6 or 7 players of Braga couldn't play, and they still lost by 1 goal. But it was all. It was like o futebol que o Porto nos anos 80 e 90 com a pitorada e putas de embarrassing. And that's why I'll never be a Portista. I would be embarrassed because the way they won half of their championships, it was all corruption, and they still applaud it. You pinta a question está lá. To me, não. Podem ir todos para o caralho.
Right.
E os benfiquistas com o Luís Filipe Vieira também.
You can't be president for 20-something years and be clean and not to beat a dead horse.
No.
It's too, you can't, it's just the way it is. They abuse their power. It's fucking, and fraud's not a crime.
So what are you saying about Salvador? What are you saying?
He has a lot of skeletons in the closet. If you're going to call a spade, he's not a perfect.
He's done a lot of business with George, man.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the business transactions over the last 10 years. Braga was like 3rd total. I was like, holy shit.
I wish I could pull a picture. Dude, I think he's in bed. When you get in bed with these guys, you gotta friggin' you sell your soul. You sell your soul. I can't tell you how many players are involved with those 2 guys. That it's same thing with Famalicão. It's the same thing. Once you're in that circle, you can't get out, man.
Oh, we're deep into it.
They know
We're
it. They know you
guys.
skimmed commission somewhere. You know,
Yeah.
put this random team in Brazil. We own part of them. Buy a player from them, and you skimmed commission. It's that easy. It's ugly. It's the ugly part of football. I try not to care too much about that shit. I still enjoy football.
And we can. As fans, all we care about is the game itself.
Right, but he has plenty. Look at there's plenty of people who just land around the stadium where he built the Desportiva. The Cidade Desportiva and stuff. The way he acquired some of that land, everybody says is fucking bullshit. And there's people who hate him for that. And
shady.
You know, and it's just when you're in the position for that long. I mean, the guy was a fucking plaster guy. He got a chance to he did construction and plaster for a job. You know, he was Soshu for, I don't know, maybe a few years, ran for president, got it. The club is in a better spot now than when he took over. I don't think that's a lie, but there's all these guys. If you're in a position for 20 years, you can't be clean. Same thing with the guy in Marito. I'm surprised he left. What's his name? Pereira. I think his name was Pereira too.
Carlos Pereira.
Yeah.
I can't believe they got him out. He was there for a while.
Yeah, and I kept on saying, Carlos Pereira is gone. Luis Filipe Vieira is gone. So
they closed the stadium because it was such in poor condition, which is just so embarrassing. Like that definitely was a break to his legitimacy.
Dude, it's going to happen eventually. Peter, he's old. He's not running the team anymore anyway.
No, but he's he's the most corrupted individual.
He's oiling those people that he needs to oil.
Right. So. I don't know. I try to stay out of that aspect of football because it's all dirty. It's fucking.
Well, don't get me wrong. Sporting has some shady deals going on. I mean, if not shady deals, it's really bad deals.
If we make a Marcus Edwards deal happen and we pay Vitória before July, that money's coming from a strange location.
It's Sporting John Texter, right? Didn't they take loans from the bank and then the bank went under? And
no, we took recently. We just took a loan to pay off another loan.
Yeah. It's going to come from the Cameroon or some Solomon Islands or something.
Seychelles. That's where Seychelles. There's a lot of Seychelles, which is one I didn't really.
I mean, I don't get it because the way I was taught is não podes comer mais que a barriga, né? Os olhos com a barriga.
Mais olhos que a barriga.
Mais olhos que a barriga. So if you make X amount of money, if you make $5,000 a month, you shouldn't be spending more than that. But the Portuguese club is, we make 20 million a year.
Oh yeah, we're so far behind. We're so far behind.
It doesn't. It's fake money. Go look at the look. Who's the other?
So if it doesn't matter, might as well get Marcus Edwards, right? The money's fake, so who cares?
Right. It's crazy. And once you get in bed with George Mendes, it's over. So you made your bed, sleep in it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, we have bought 50% of his pass, right?
What the fuck is that?
So we sell them for 30 million, and we should. If technically, if you want me to tell the truth, we should have sold him last year. Quando ele foi o melhor marcador, that's when we should have sold him, because everyone was like, "Wow, what a great player!" That's when we should have sold him. Now we want to sell him. He only scored 6 goals so far.
Yeah, he's not gonna go for.
And now he's not going to go for 30 million anymore. He's going to go for 15 million or something.
But maybe we won't sell him. I'd prefer that.
The great negotiators we have in Stade Zavalad, we're not going to sell him.
Viana, he's a good one.
Oh,
He's gotten better.
He's a Braga guy too. He played
He is
for
a
us.
Braga guy.
He was probably one of our most. I think I read he was like one of our most expensive players ever.
no, he's Braga. But
I think he was one of Sporting's
Right,
too.
but I mean,
Because-
He went to Newcastle. He was like one of their record signings
Yeah.
at the time.
Or maybe it was Newcastle. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was one of our records like sales at the time too. Then to Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Maybe.
must have been. Yeah.
Vienna has some sort of record with Sporting as well. Anyways, but
yeah.
crazy.
Listen, fellas, thanks for having me on.
We'll
like
get to
dragging
Musli
everything on,
Dads
man.
and the other random
Yeah.
shit on the next.
Okay,
pod.
quickly then. Predictions for Taça Liga final, and then we're out of here.
nice kitchen.
It's a beautiful kitchen. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful kitchen.
You want to rent it? My tenants just moved out.
Oh no,
This is
I'm a Yankees fan, so no.
Oh yeah,
Not allowed in there.
price is doubled. Price is doubled.
I'm gonna go with a. Fuck, I don't want to be that guy.
Don't be then. What the fuck?
Okay, I won't be that guy. I'm gonna go with a 1-1, and we win in penalties against Benfica. Go ahead, Chris.
1-0. No PKs needed.
Beautiful. Steph,
3-1 Sporting.
my favorite Bracarense.
Sporting and PKs.
Yeah,
I like
What
that.
that's probably the
PK.
most likely scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, now the last question of the night. Does this cup matter?
Of course. I'm a firm believer of every cup matters. All cup matters. All
Do you think
All
this cup
cups matter.
all
should give?
cups matter. Hashtag.
Do you think this cup should give at least a spot in the Conference League? Because now it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
at
Definitely.
least.
Conference League. Yeah.
For sure. The problem is none of the Portuguese clubs are certified. So even if they win, they just decline the invite.
Shout out to Sportivo das Aves.
Which I think that was so bullshit. I got
So
That's what it
stupid.
is.
how this Liga allows you to play and not be certified to go to fucking Europa is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
but they could do it right away. You know, it doesn't take too long.
I mean, I know Avs didn't think they'd make it to the fucking finals either, but
Yeah.
that's
I mean-
bananas.
Or
Like,
can't they just play at fucking Pasfadena once every 2 weeks, 6 times or 3 times? I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
Was it the
3 times.
stadium?
oh,
That's
figure
what
it
that's
out.
what kept
It's
them
the
out.
stadium.
Yeah.
no, I think. Sorry,
it's
Avs.
the
I don't think
stadium.
was registered.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's what it was, too.
there's a registration fee, but also the stadium.
But
has
so
to be
who played instead of Abs?
Sporting.
us.
No, it was
No, that was good.
Because
then.
we finished in
no,
third.
no,
Because
no,
we finished
no,
in third
no,
or
no,
something.
no. You guys still had, I think, at that time.
Do we still have the
So-
playoff?
Yeah, you win
I don't think
direct.
so.
You might be. You win
So
direct.
here's
Yeah,
what, so
'cause we
yeah,
went
so
third.
we
I
finished
think
we finished
we-
fourth.
Or
Fourth
okay,
shouldn't
okay.
have given us a direct spot. But then since we lost the final, they were counting us as winning the final. So we got the automatic spot.
No, we
for
finished
finishing
third that
fourth, and then-
season.
I think
But
you still
I got-
finished third.
But I finished third and then had to go to the playoffs.
Wait,
No. We finished third that
You
season because that's
finished
the
third.
season we lost to Marítimo last game of the season
Oh,
and gave
okay.
Benfica the champions.
That was still
You-
you still Portugal was still only getting the 2
That's so-
championships.
yeah, that's
Two-
when
yeah.
Portugal only
That's
had
exactly
two.
yeah. Two
And-
with the
and
champions.
Third
But
didn't
we-
even get.
But
Third didn't even give
we
you
went to
automatic
Liga
spot.
Europa. We went to Liga Europa.
Right.
Because the
Yeah,
Conference
but we
Cup,
we
it's a
should
new
have had to
thing.
go to a playoff based
No.
on
Yeah.
the league positioning.
Yeah.
But since
Right.
we
We
lost
took
the
we
final,
we had the playoff, and
we
I
got
think we fucking lost. I think we went to Ukraine. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm not sure even what year it was. That might have been the year we
I
lost.
remember, no, I was in Portugal for that year. I think it was 2017.
So,
Zoria, I think it was.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually do
we
remember
lost.
that.
We fucking
Those fucking Ukrainians, bro.
in Ukraine.
So let me test your knowledge one more time. I'm gonna go with Dave first, and then I'll go to Chris and Danny. I hope I will not embarrass you. But Dave, how many international competitions have you guys won in soccer?
Just the Intertoto Cup, I believe.
Yeah, you got it.
That's
Yeah.
the only the
Yeah.
final. Which fucking I don't care what anybody says. Put this down. Falcao was offsides. All right, just remember that. Falcao
Agreed.
was offsides.
Agreed.
Is he really?
I'm with you, bro. He was.
I don't know, but that's
He
my
was.
take on it.
All right, I'll go back and look at it because I never like knew that was.
I think I made that argument back in the day to my boy Patrick, bro. Don't worry.
Right.
All right, I'll go back and look at that.
But fuck it, you guys did win an international cup, Intertoto, and I always give that credit to Sporting de Braga. Sporting Braga, which actually was an affiliation of Sporting a long time ago, by the way.
They were green. They used to have green.
They used to be
kits,
green,
and then the president went to London, saw Arsenal, and switched them to the.
Não foi assim. Foi o Estádio da Luz, diferente.
No. You like London? Good call though.
Is that it?
Yeah, fora do jogo.
Yeah,
That's it. Well, you gotta watch the video. Click the video.
No,
bro, then we're gonna get taken down, bro. What are you trying to do?
If
here?
we click the video, they'll kill us.
Hold on. I'm trying to get one more.
That's all right.
One more before we take off.
Come on.
Yeah, don't click the video. We'll lose our.
Don't show the video. It'd be like
Portugal. Show up at our house.
We'll lose our 5,400 followers again for the second time.
It was. Don't get me wrong. It's close, but we missed the chance to win that game too. But
against
the pass, but all I'm saying,
against Porto.
That was against Porto, yeah.
Yeah, in the final, the Liga Europa.
In Scotland.
Oh, you're looking. It is tight. Dublin. It is tight, man. It is tight.
Yeah.
You're looking at it. That's tight.
Yeah, it's tight. It's tough to tell. Need a better angle.
Não tinha o VAR, caralho.
Não, fora de jogo.
And I don't even know if with VAR.
Quando é para roubar o Sporting, é para roubar o Sporting. Não fala, it doesn't matter if it's Braga, Clube Portugal, doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah. So I'll tell you. Speaking of the stewards, I'll tell you how they are because I'm flying over next week for Braga Vitória. I'm going to the Derby.
Oh, nice.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
You're going by yourself?
My father's gonna go.
Oh, nice.
My father. My luck. When my father would be like, "Oh, vamos pintar a casa. It only needs fucking paint, and I'm gonna be there working. Ain't gonna be vacation."
Your wife's gonna listen to this later.
That she's upstairs. Shut up! You don't hear the broom? Fucking of us sort of in the floor.
Anyways, Dave, we appreciate you coming on. Stay safe next week. We know how these Vitória fans are.
That's it. Hey, thanks for having me. You guys do a great show, man. I listen in when I can. I'm a big fan of you guys' show. Yeah, you guys are honest. It's fun to listen to.
Yeah, these kids are amazing. So my question to you and Chris, and I hope you guys know the answer. If you don't know it, I'm gonna spank you.
Eesh.
I'm
never going to Maryland to fucking Delaware then, bro.
So how many trophies have we won this year so far in 2022? I
saw your question on Instagram. So it's definitely basketball Taça da Liga.
1.
This year, like 2022?
That's it.
Futsal Super Taça, was that 2022?
No.
Futsal won a trophy, though, in 2022.
No.
That was the only one.
No. I just want to see how much.
There's one more Super Taça. Isn't there another Super Taça in
there? No.
It was basketball Super Taça.
2022.
No. We won a Taça da Liga.
This month.
Hugo dos Santos.
Yeah.
Basketball against Benfica after we beat Porto.
Perfect form, by the way.
And then we won another Taça de Portugal. I'll give you that much. And that's all I'm going to give you. But we won another Taça de Portugal in another modality. And
was it ping pong?
Huh?
Was it ping pong?
Yes. Yeah, you got it.
Not one of the modalidades that I typically follow, but I remember that happening like in passing.
We here at Sporting160EN, we love our ping pong.
Oh, hey, listen.
And our goal ball.
I'll ping pong you anytime you want.
All right, we can end on that.
Perfect. Be sure to follow us here. You know the vibes. Shout out to Sam who couldn't make it. And Sporting160EN, everything. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And, of course, thanks, Dave, for joining us so late.
Thanks,
bro, Viva Sporting.
Yeah.